I'm gonna proliferate. I just proliferated. And now I got myself the emblem. Oh, Jesus Louises. Okay. I think that's game. This couldn't work out any better. This couldn't have worked out any better. I'm proliferating like a mofo. Oh, snap. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay. How's it going, my fellow planeswalkers? Welcome back to my channel. So I know I said in my prior videos that I'd be focusing primarily on some planeswalkers that weren't getting much love. However, I could not resist. I had to put together a proliferation deck. These planeswalkers definitely get played. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to go ahead and say that these planeswalkers don't get played. I've come across them a few times myself. I got my butt beat a few times by this deck. So this is my take on it with the cards that I have. I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle, but this is my take on a proliferation deck. So let's get into the breakdown. Before I do, I want to give you guys a reminder to please hit the subscribe button. Okay, starting off, we have the Benthic Biomancer. I only have one. Actually works out really, really well in this deck, because in this deck, I'm going to be putting on plenty of 1/1 counters via assortment of ways, you know, whether I use Pollen Bright Druid, whether I use Merfolk Skydiver, you know, I have Jiang Gangu. There's plenty of ways that I'm going to give 1/1 counters, and it's really cool because whenever Benthic Biomancer gets a 1/1 counter, I get to draw a card and then discard a card. So that's a great way of cycling through the deck. Unfortunately, I only have one copy. I would love to play a second copy, but one's going to have to do for the time being. Then we have Arboreal Grazer. So you look at this, it looks like I'm like, what, it's a 1-drop 0/3, so maybe it could block out some attackers. But you'd be surprised. I find when I play this deck, ideal play is turn 1 Arboreal Grazer, turn 2 you get Jiang Gangu. The reason being is because when Arboreal Grazer enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So this is great because in the first turn, I get to get 2 land down, get Jiang Gangu out, put a 1/1 counter on the Arboreal Grazer, and then I could already start proliferating. And before you know it, this guy is quite something. Then we have 2 contentious plans. This is for some proliferation, and you also get to draw a card. It's really cool. Pollen Bright Druid. This is another key element in this deck. When Pollen Bright Druid enters the battlefield, I get to choose one. Either put a 1/1 counter on target creature or proliferate. So in case you guys don't know what proliferate does, choose any number of permanents and or players, then give each another counter of each kind already there. So being that everything is going to be, at least ideally, everything I'm going to have on the field are going to have some form of counters, be it loyalty counters on planeswalkers, be it 1/1 counters on creatures. This works out fantastically. We have 4 Titanic Brawls. So when I made the deck originally yesterday and I was still playing around with it, I didn't have any good form of removal. You could always play that, you know, that card that has 2 sides to it, and I could pay 3 mana and convert any creature into a 3/3 creature, but I figured that this would be the best removal in this deck. Titanic Brawl. It actually costs 1 less if you're targeting a creature that has a 1/1 counter on it, and being that we're doing that, so this I usually get to play for 1 mana, and basically it makes target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. But being that I am putting a bunch of 1/1 counters and I'm proliferating, typically my creatures are a bit more hefty. So for 1 mana, I could remove a creature on my opponent's side of the field. So Titanic Brawl is really nice. Then we have 2 Merfolk Skydivers. This is another great card. It has flying. It's a 1/1, so it's very easily removed. But when it comes into the field, I get to put a 1/1 counter on it, or on anything, or one target creature. And you know, if I could build it up on time, then when I have enough mana, I could just do proliferations by playing 5 mana and have a constant proliferate element in the deck. So we have 1 copy of Guild Pack Informant. This is probably a bit slow, also very easily removed, but I figured, you know, why not? I had a copy, I might as well go for it. It's a flyer, 1/1. Whenever he does damage to an opponent or a planeswalker, I proliferate. And he's flying, so he's hard to block out typically, so I feel like it's good. Also, I really like the cover art. You look at that, you have like a little fairy whispering into Jason Bellerin's ear. Okay, then we have 4 Evolution Sages. This is absolutely key in any proliferate deck. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you proliferate. 3 GA Gangus. This is also huge. So this helps for multiple elements. This could help with ramp, because any creature you have that has a 1/1 counter on it, you could tap for any color. And also you get to -1, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and then you could throw proliferations down on the field. He gets another loyalty counter, so it's as if he didn't lose any loyalty counters, and you're just building up. It really compiles. 2 Herald of the Secret Streams, because this makes my stuff unblockable. I figured I needed a card like Herald of the Secret Streams in here, because yesterday I built up this massive board state, and my opponent was playing tokens, and he was just able to block out everything I had, and I eventually lost because he was playing funguses and saplings. He had those creatures that whenever one dies, you know, it does damage to me, so it was unfortunate. Then we have 2 Mau Loyal Companions. This is a great card because whenever you put a 1/1 counter on it, it gains it gains another one on top of that 1/1 counter. So let's say you put 1/1 counter on it, it'll actually get 2. If you would put 2, it would get 3. But the real kicker is that he has Trample and Vigilance. So no matter how many blockers the opponents have, this could, you know, really just hit through anyway. The problem being with this Mau is that he's a legendary creature. I would run a third, but if you watch any of my other videos, you know I don't like to run too many legendary creatures. I don't like to clog up my hand with stuff that are unplayable. Then we have a Zakana Utopian Speaker. So I'm still playing with this. I don't know. So the same reason why I'm playing Herald of Secrets is why I'm playing Zakana. Because each creature you have has Trample. And as I said, most of my creatures, at least hopefully, if it works according to the game plan, are going to be rather hefty because of my proliferations. But you also get to draw a card, I suppose, when you play it, which is pretty key. Then we have Nissa, Who Shakes the World. So this is a card that I'm really, really fond of. For ramp, it's great because whenever you tap a forest for mana, add additional green mana. So that's always nice. I could do my +1. I get to take one of my lands and put 3 1/1 counters on it, which is really great. But being that the 1/1 counters, those proliferate as well. And then his -8, which by the way is rather easy to hit because we're proliferating. Once again, we're proliferating. -8 is you get an emblem, and I absolutely love emblems when it comes to playing. Lands you controls have indestructible. So this is huge because once you have indestructible and you're building up an army of forests or lands card, whatever, because you're doing the +1/1, you just have a bunch of vigilance hasty lands that are indestructible. So this is massive. 2 Rolask Apex Hybrid. This is my highest cost creature in this deck. It has flying and trample, which is nice. When it enters the battlefield, I get to put 2 1/1 counters onto a creature, and when he dies, I proliferate twice. So this is my proliferation deck. We got 7 islands, 11 forests, 2 hinterland harbors, 2 Simic Guild Gates, 2 woodland streams. I don't find that these typically slow me down. You know, I haven't found out yet. I mean, I would obviously play more hinterland harbors and some of more of those rear lands, shock lands, check lands. The thing is that I don't have them, so this is what we're gonna have to do. So anyway, this is proliferation deck. We have 24 lands over here, average cost 2.8. Let's get into it right away. So proliferation, round 1. So as I said before, I found the ideal opening hand is to have an Arboreal Grazer with at least 2 land in hand. So you do turn 1 Arboreal Grazer, you slap down a second land free of charge. Hopefully turn 2, have another land in hand and get down Jiang Yangu, which by the way is where that's where it really begins. So I think I will stick with this because I have a Merfolk Skydiver. You know, I do have Evolution Sage. I'm still learning this deck. I am by no means I'm not proficient with it. So being that I'm not proficient with it, I still don't know when I should be doing certain things with this deck. Such as when should I mulligan? Oh, there we go. We have Jiang Yangu. Okay, so here is where it truly begins. So I'm going to go Evolution Sage, Jiang Yangu, and then I'm going to play a land, and then everything's going to proliferate, and then we're going to find ourselves in a pretty decent position. So he's playing Flyers, which hopefully with my Merfolk Skydiver, I'll be able to block him out. Oh, snap. Another favorable wins. Okay, but guess what? I have plenty of flyers available to me, which is nice. I'm going to have Roalesk, and I'm going to have the Merfolk Skydiver. So I have to play this right. I've made this mistake before. Oh, snap. Okay, we just lost one of our stuff. A big deal. So we need to play Jiangyangu first before I play my land. I've made that mistake before because I don't want to lose my proliferations. Proliferate, and then might as well proliferate again. Look at that, and before you know it, we're dealing with some biggies. We're gonna get Rolex down next. I think that's the best bet. Disperse, okay. I don't mind too much. I'm having him waste up some of his removal. Healer's Hawk, that's a 3/3. That's definitely not the best, but I'm gonna remove it right now, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna do this. Submit, and then I'm gonna do that. So I just removed one of his flyers. You see, that's why I think that this is good removal for this deck. You know, it cost me 1 to do, and my creatures are typically rather hefty. So I definitely think it's good. Okay, we have a mentor. Oh, this is just fantastic. We're just gonna go ahead and really start this proliferation game. And proliferate. So what I want to find right now, Jesus Louises, beautiful. What I want right now is, more than anything, I want to find myself with a Nissa. I need Nissa right now. If I get Nissa right now, it's game over. Or I could give these guys Trample, which is cool. Sarah Angel. Ow. Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay. We are definitely in a good spot, boys. So, target up to 1 target land. It's nice. I get Jiangyangu. So, wait. Yes, I'm going to throw this down. Oh, I can't put another target creature you control. I suppose I'll put it on the land. Go like this. Proliferate. Okay, this just worked out. It couldn't work out any better, guys. This just worked out perfectly. Let's just hope he doesn't have some, like, River's Rebuke and send all my shit back into hand. Yeah. I think this game is ours. All my stuff have Trample. No, sorry. He has Trample. Not all my stuff, but he has Trample. Okay, so let's think for... Okay. Here we go. Put it on him. I want to play this right, so wait a second. Yeah, so I'm going to proliferate. I just proliferated. And now I got myself the Emblem. Oh, Jesus Louises. Okay. I think that's game. This couldn't work out any better. This couldn't have worked out any better. I'm proliferating like a mofo. Oh, snap. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay. You see why I was tempted to make this proliferation deck now. That was just way too juicy. Unfortunately, the opponent didn't give me the satisfaction. But it looks like I have a pack over here. I might as well open a pack. Let's hope for good pulls right now. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'll actually be happy with anything, probably. Okay, ooh, look at that. So I got myself another rare wild card. And I just got my 4th copy of Jiangyangu. Which is a shame, because I had to redeem 3 wild cards for my Jiangyangus. Fine, whenever Great File person does combat damage to a player or planeswalker, proliferate. Very nice. And my 2nd copy of Narsets. So actually, I never played it. I'm wondering one thing. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. But does my opponent's spell resolve? Does he get the value out of his spell as well? That's what I'm wondering. Or does it sort of counter it? Like, it doesn't come to effect, I get the value out of it, and he has it back in hand, he could try to do it again. Or does it resolve and he gets to do it again, and I also just had value out of his spell? So I'm going to have to play around with that a bit and see how that works. Okay. I'm actually going to mulligan this. Okay, this is decent. This is pretty decent. I mean, not the most decent, but let's hope we draw into some lands. At least I'm going first. So we're going to start off. We're going to get one extra land down on the field ahead of time. Oh, and he's dropping down. Oh, beautiful. Just beautiful. This is good. Okay. I can't complain. I'm going to have myself another land next turn. I'll just give this a 1/1 counter. So if I start proliferating... Okay. That's how powerful this deck is, guys. Concede before even dropping a land. Alright, so that is 2 in the bag, although we'll only consider that one of them victory. I'll probably go 2 more rounds right now. See how this works. So it's rather... When it hits its stride, it's devastating. The one thing I can say about this deck that it lacks a bit of, it lacks removal. So I do have those Titanic Strengths, or whatever that card was called. But it's still pretty dope. There's no doubt about it. It's pretty dope. I only have 4 cards of removal, so... And I guess it could do very well against creature decks because I have creatures of my own. Especially creatures that build up in strength. But against control decks, I don't know. I haven't gone up against control decks. I'm not really sure. But he's playing black and white. Okay. Card. Damage. Okay, so we're going to start off. This is nice. Okay, so we're going to actually go for Evolution Sage. We'll probably go for 2... Oh, wait, do we do 2 Evolution Sages, though? It's a question. So he's playing a Vamp deck. So he's playing a Vampire deck. I wonder how I'll do against a Vamp. That is a good question. Okay. I'm going to swing in for sure. I'm not going to block that simply because I'm going to be able to proliferate quite soon. This is nice. Okay, so... I wish I had some 1/1 counters. So am I willing to block out his stuff is the question. The answer is no, not yet. So I'm actually going to go for Zagana. I think that's what needs to be done. I need to go for Zagana. This is going to become a 3/3. We're going to get a Zagana. We're going to draw a card. And all my 1/1 stuff are going to get trample. Which is super nice. Oh. That's not good. That's definitely not good. I actually want to draw Titanic Strength. I'm going to let that hit. And this is the last time I'm going to be able to afford taking damage. This caliber. I wonder what other good removal I could add to this deck. Oh, snap. Oh, shoot. He has 3 Legion Lieutenant. You know, there's a few decks that you could pretty much always rely on the opponent getting certain cards. If you're going against Dimmer, they're always going to have a Thought Erasure in hand. I don't know how it's possible. If you're going up against a Merfolk, they always have the Merfolk that boosts other Merfolk. And if you're going against Vampire, they always have the Vampires that boost other Vampires. What are the odds in their opening hand they have 3 copies of Legion Lieutenant? I ask you, what are the odds? You have Nissa. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to start blocking out right now because I can't afford to take such damage. This is highly problematic. Highly problematic. So the opponent for sure won this one because he drew all his Legion Lieutenants. There's nothing I could do about that. I guess there is. I need to add more removal to this deck. Maybe I'll play around with it a bit more. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's game over. I'll let that hit in the face. Okay. Good play, man. Good play, Balo. You know what I'm going to have to do? I am going to have to do this again. I'm going to have to add some more fights. So fight. We can have Prey Upon. Target creature control fights target creature. This is good. What do I get rid of? Need these, need these, need these. Maybe get rid of the Guild Pack Informant, add another Prey Upon. Do I need 4 Evolution Sages? I think I do. Do I need 2 Herald of Secret Streams? Not really, because Zagana gives me a card and gives them trampled. So maybe I'll get rid of another one of those and pop. Do I need 3 copies of Nissa Who Shakes the World? Not really. I'll add another Prey Upon. So now that we have 7 bits of removal, let's see if we could play this a bit better. MTG nerd. Okay, perfect. So we have an Arboreal Grazer. I'm going first. Perfect. Hopefully next turn we'll be able to get a Jiangangu. That would be ideal for me if that happens. I just need to draw a land. Please draw me a land. We got screwed. Okay, so we're going to lose a Proliferate card. But at least I got a land. Just not going to do anything. I'm going to hang back. We also have Nissa, which is nice. Walking Corpse. Okay. I'm actually... yeah, we're obviously just going to use him over here to block out. If I could get Nissa next turn, that's going to be ideal. I want to get Nissa down next turn. Ascend. Each opponent's action. Fuck me. Who even plays this? Bonus Hunger. Instant. Ascend. Each opponent's action is a creature. If you have the city's blessing instead, each opponent's action have to... That is something else. I feel a bit disappointed. I did not see that coming. Walking Corpse. If he attacks, I'm not defend. Okay, now I'll defend. Ideally, I want to get Nissa down. We'll deal with what we're given. I'll put a 1/1 counter on him. Thing is, this is a sorcery, so I guess I'll just do it now. No, I'll get rid of one of these. And no attacks. I need to use to defend. Nissa would be really nice just about now. So it's the opponent's turn. I hope you don't throw down some removal. If I could create just a few blockers with my lands, it would be very nice. And then we also have Rolesk Apex Hybrid. Yeah, so he's about to remove the Herald of the Secret Streams. There's no doubt about it. I think we'll see a Ravenous Chupacabra or something of nature. Or he may think that he wants to get rid of this because I could just proliferate. Grave Digger. Back. Walking Corpse. That's not too devastating. Okay, so at least I'm going to draw a card now. Please give me a land. Once again... Actually, I'm going to swing in. I might as well start hitting him up for some damage. Oh, that's not good. Okay. this is what we're gonna do. Counters on this. Trample, Vigilance. So these guys are unblockable. I'm actually going to save the Merfolk Skydiver as a sacrifice to protect the Nissa. Hopefully, I'll draw another land. So I'll get the Evolution Sage down and then Proliferate. This is what I ideally hope to happen. Although he is playing mono black, he must have some form of removal. It would be interesting if he doesn't have any removal in his deck, some hard removal. We should be seeing a Cast Down, a Ravenous Chupacabra, Murder, or another Vampire Sovereign. Interesting. I actually still feel pretty good about this matchup, though. I feel like I could, I think I could still take it on this one. He created a zombie. No big deal. Oh, yes. Yes, okay. So, I want to go for... Yes, this is what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to give to this. Untap another land. And then I'm going to fight. I'm going to have this, fight this. Right. We're in a pretty sweet spot now. I'm going to get the Evolution Sage down. Although I could have probably swung in for some extra damage. And these two cannot be blocked. I'm going to hit up for 9 damage right now. All goes according to plan. We'll be able to... Oh. That's never good. That's never good. Okay. So wait, so I want Nissa to survive. So I'm gonna proliferate twice now. I proliferate twice. Submit, submit. Yeah, the game is mine. Easily. This game is mine. Easy. Alright, that's nice. And here we go. I'm gonna swing for the bacon. 19 damage. Alright, so this is my proliferation deck. You know, we tampered with it a bit as we went along. I feel like we maybe made it a bit stronger with adding some more removal to this deck. If you guys have any builds of your own that you would like to share, please drop in the comments. I'm definitely open to seeing some other pretty cool ways of playing this deck. And I hope you guys enjoy. Great day.